All right, I think we are about ready to begin. I want to say good morning and good afternoon to everyone on the East Coast. We have another great turnout for our latest lecture in the NIMBL webinar series, S4HANA Cloud, SAP Breakthru Software as a Service ERP. I'm Jake Eisbart, part of the NIMBL marketing team. A little bit about us before we begin. At NIMBL, we are SAP technologists and SAP ecosystem thought leaders. Our consulting business, which is 50% of our work, delivers SAP projects, both technical and functional, while our Denver-based SAP managed services, the other 50%, supports both Fortune 1000 and Midmarket 24/7 across 20-plus SAP skill sets. While our projects tend to be a little technical in nature, HANA, UX, SOLMAN, we likewise provide deliverable-based SAP functional, business process, and PMO services. Here's a quick list of the services that we offer. Obviously, today we'll be talking about S4HANA, and here is a list of the customers that we work with and have worked with. A little bit of housekeeping. We want to be able to answer as many questions as possible. So if you look in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see the chat box. Feel free to ask any questions, and they will be answered by our speakers at the end of the session. So let's get to it. Our speakers today are Yosh Eisbart from SAP and Will Sakaguchi from, Yosh Eisbart from NIMBL and Will Sakaguchi from SAP. A little bit about Yosh. He's got 20-plus years consulting. He is the NIMBL co-founder and has been involved in countless implementations across the globe as a hands-on developer and a program manager. He's driven strategic NIMBL initiatives, including NIMBL's latest S4HANA Cloud. And he is very excited about the game-changing software opportunity for both Midmarket and Fortune 1000. And we're honored to be joined by Will Sakaguchi from SAP. He's an experienced leader in enterprise and software as a service sales engineering, professional services, and customer success with over 25 years of industry, line of business, and technology expertise. And again, just so that we can get a lay of the land, we're going to start off with a poll question. And it's a pretty easy poll question. Before this webinar, have you heard about S4HANA Cloud? We know it's new to the industry, and we just want to see who has heard about it and who hasn't, just to get a lay of the land. So we are going to let people answer that. I'll give a couple more seconds for people to answer. It seems like most of you have, just a couple of you haven't. That's great. And our second poll question. If you're looking to implement S4HANA, what is your schedule? Would that be in the next 3 months, in the next 6 months, within a year, or it is currently not on our schedule? And again, give people a little bit of time to fill that out. All right, looks like we have everybody on. All right, at this point, let's start up the webinar. I'm going to hand it over to Yosh Eisbart. Yosh, go ahead and take it away.
Thanks, Jake. Greatly appreciate the introduction and greatly appreciate you all taking the time out of your busy schedules to spend a little bit of time discussing SAP's new latest and greatest SaaS ERP product, S4HANA Cloud. As Jake mentioned, I've been in the SAP world for a little while, since the mid-90s, and seen a lot of change from the R2 days all the way now to HANA. And in full confidence, I am tremendously excited, NIMBL is tremendously excited about S4HANA Cloud and the opportunities that it presents to both large companies and small companies, and really seeing it truly as a SaaS game changer. So to go over the agenda briefly, and as Jake mentioned earlier, please feel free to ask any questions. Fortunate enough to have Will on the line from the mothership, who not only is going to assist with any questions that I'm not able to answer, but provide a demo at the end of the webinar to show real time, real live, some of the features and functions around S4HANA Cloud. So in the next 40 minutes or so, we'll be talking about what is S4HANA Cloud. It sounds like most of y'all already are very much aware of the product, which is Dynamite. The next section we'll discuss is what companies are the right fit. And I think some may be surprised as to what is the makeup of a company that could leverage S4HANA Cloud. And we'll talk about what companies may not be a good fit for S4HANA Cloud. The next section will go over some of the functionality from a business process perspective around the business features within S4HANA Cloud. And what you'll get with NIMBL as well as SAP is that SAP products, it's not everything for everybody. And so there are some business processes that are not yet within feature and function. They may be on the roadmap in later versions, but we'll go over that the functionality. And then in the final section, prior to the demo, we're going to talk about what is the cost to actually deploy S4HANA Cloud. One of the selling points around S4HANA Cloud is its rapid deployment. It's a SaaS product, so it has a different subscription-based type of pricing model, which is different than more heritage pricing, kind of capital expense up front. So it's a different model, not only from a licensing perspective, but as well as from a deployment perspective via your SI. And then finally, we'll go over the demo as mentioned. So let's get to it. So what is S4HANA Cloud? And there's a whole host of acronyms. I am fluent in Japanese, and so S4HANA Cloud is yet another acronym, or S4HC is another acronym within the Japanese language. S4HANA Cloud is SAP's newest software as a service. Its official name is S4HANA Enterprise Management Cloud, or S4HANA Cloud for short. It is a hosted solution. So as part of a true SaaS model, it is hosted, so there's no infrastructure cost required for implementation. So that's a huge benefit. One of the benefits of S4HANA Cloud, depending upon what your business needs are, is that it has a high probability to cover all of the business scenarios that are important to your company in regards to core ERP. It is not the full business suite, so something important to understand. It does not include necessarily CRM or SCM. However, they're based upon the way that S4HANA Cloud is modeled, integration to other SAP products for best-of-breed types of solutions, whether integrating with SuccessFactors or other, the framework and the format and the integration is available out of the box. Currently, there are several industry flavors, so different types of industry-specific functionality that is currently built into S4HANA Cloud as part of different packages. There's marketing, there's professional services, and as part of the roadmap, and Will can talk to this maybe later during the demo, as part of the roadmap, there's more specific industry functionality that's to be built, either inherent into S4HANA Cloud or as a separate S4HANA Cloud flavor. A question that we get a lot is, what's the difference between S4HANA Cloud and ByDesign or Business One? And so S4HANA Cloud is not an evolution of Business ByDesign or Business One. Quite frankly, it's a revolution. And so the product itself, S4HANA Cloud, has the same code base as S4HANA. And so the way that SAP is developing the code base is one and the same. The deployment strategies for S4HANA Cloud or S4 on-prem is very similar. And so the functionality tends to be different. More core business for S4HANA Cloud versus for S4HANA, which is another product, but it is not, S4HANA Cloud is not Business One. It is not by design. And the types of customers that are looking to get the S4HANA experience in a SaaS-based ERP model should look more towards S4HANA Cloud as opposed to the other products. So S4HANA Cloud covers core SAP functionality. It's the enterprise management cloud. All of the business processes core to your business in terms of running your company, from core finance to core procurement to core manufacturing and supply chain. Those are all built part and parcel as part of your S4HANA SaaS experience. What are some of the product benefits? So with S4HANA Cloud, the beauty of it being a SaaS model, multi-tenant, access through the web, is that it's always patched and it's always up to date. As part of that, the reliability, the availability is inherently built into the SaaS product, and SAP has obviously spent a lot of time and energy in ensuring that it's secure and meets the security needs of you as a consumer, or as a customer, or a partner. Another product benefit is its rapid deployment. So being a SaaS product and being best practice out of the box, the ability to rapidly deploy S4HANA Cloud is night and day to S4HANA. So the out-of-the-box core functionality, which we'll talk about a little bit later in terms of who's the right customer and who's not the right customer to potentially leverage S4HANA Cloud. For those that are looking for SAP best practice, who want to rapidly deploy to receive S4HANA functionality, that's definitely a product benefit for you as a consumer. The other benefit is its SaaS pricing model, so it's subscription-based. So pay by user per month is a new pricing model for S4HANA Cloud. There are other SAP products that some of y'all may already run, which are more of some of the recent acquisitions, such as SuccessFactors, etc., that already have this SaaS-based model in terms of subscription pricing. So that's very similar, but it is very much different than the ECC 6.0, R3, or S4HANA, which is more of a user base, annual subscription, annual maintenance, etc. The other big benefit around S4HANA Cloud is its low total cost of ownership. So because it is hosted by SAP, because its software is supported by SAP, and because it's SAP best practice, the amount of actual either partner support, such as a NIMBL, or internal support is driven down significantly. So as opposed to having to necessarily hire in multiple internal resources to support your SAP platform, now because it's out of the box best practice, it tends to be more super users or senior level business analysts. You'll see later through the implementation strategy and the configuration wizard type of functionality. It is much more user focused and meant to be a very streamlined and cost effective approach for S4HANA functionality. What are some more product benefits? Well, it's end-to-end fully integrated because it's all within a single piece of software that's hosted within the cloud. You have a single source of truth for all your business operations. And the beauty, again, that the way S4HANA Cloud has been designed is that it allows a tremendous amount of capability to extend either within the SAP world, so hooks to other SAP products, or quite frankly to non-SAP products through leveraging APIs and external integration. As mentioned before, S4HANA Cloud uses the same platform or code base as S4HANA. And so the benefits of S4HANA on-prem translate also to S4HANA Cloud. So being a single source of truth, a platform for all of your transactions, there are immediate opportunities for analytical actions for decision. So for those of y'all that already are on S4HANA or familiar with it, whether a proof of concept or whether full S4HANA, the same benefits exist around S4HANA Cloud, around the ability to have real-time analytics, which lead to better decisions, higher efficiency, and transparency. So that's a true benefit. S4HANA Cloud, along with the direction that the mothership is going in general, is Fiori. So the simple-to-use, intuitive UX with responsive design enabling access to S4HANA on a tablet or mobile ready, that type of functionality exists. So being able to, and you do need to build some of this, so it's not across the entire board, just to state some clarification. But having the ability to approve purchase orders or requisitions or time and expense approvals, etc., through responsive design via smartphone for management, that's a huge benefit that S4HANA Cloud provides. All right. Even more product benefits just keeps coming. So the extensibility, again mentioned around the openness of platform exists. So you're not just limited necessarily to the core S4HANA Cloud functionality if you need integration. Multiple geographies currently are available. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, but if you want to manage multiple geographies, divisions, subsidiaries, etc., that is all available through core functionality of S4HANA Cloud. The pre-configured processes is a really neat accelerator that allows for jump-starting of the use of S4HANA Cloud and getting immediate ROI or pretty near-term immediate ROI, and that's through guided configuration, where you as a company are able to, as opposed to trying to create business processes out of the box or what y'all want to leverage for your functionality, there's wizards that we'll talk about a little bit later that allow for almost like wizard-based config. So that is definitely a neat feature. Whole concept around S4HANA Cloud is trying to drive immediate results after purchase and deployment. So can quickly spin up an S4HANA Cloud ERP for your business, and as opposed to having to wait 9 months, a year, as in traditional S4 or SAP long-term implementations. So there was a question that was asked, and tackle it. Not all customers may like the concept of always, and thanks Neil, not all customers may like the concept of always patch the latest and greatest because of downtime or unknown issues may encounter based on enhancements specific to the customer. If it is a private cloud SaaS offering, how is it going to be dealt with? I am going to table that one for Will. But that's a great question, Neil. Thank you so much for asking that question, and keep the questions coming. Faster innovation for S4HANA Cloud. The global solution currently is available in 13 countries and growing. So one of the questions on are you the right customer, that's important to understand where you're trying to deploy S4HANA Cloud. And if your country or where you're trying to deploy it in that country is not yet available as part of current offering, then that's something to think about and see whether or not it's on the upcoming roadmap. So what companies are the right fit for S4HANA Cloud. So some tangible benefits, and these were taken from SAP and some stats around proven KPIs for real-time dollar savings. You can take a look at them here, but there are some real tangible benefits by different business processes. These are more within the procurement world, but you could see by scanning over that there are real tangible dollar savings based upon leveraging S4HANA Cloud, and how you, from a business process perspective, can actually, by implementing S4HANA Cloud and some best practice, get some both top line as well as bottom line ROI. So what are some of the target companies that may be a good fit? And I think that folks will be surprised. This one probably is not so surprising, but the mid-market, those companies that let's say are around 200 million and below in annual revenue, and those are gray lines. And so folks running companies that are smaller or even bigger could be a great target to leverage S4HANA Cloud. But the mid-market in general is a dynamite solution, or S4HANA Cloud is a dynamite solution for those organizations around 200 million and below. One of the reasons is that the rapid deployment, out-of-box functionality, leveraging SAP best practice, and quite frankly, the SaaS-specific type of model that customers are driving towards, specifically within the mid-market, a SaaS subscription type of organization that previously may have been looking at, let's say, a NetSuite or a Workday or an Infor or some other market-specific or industry-specific SaaS model. That is a perfect target customer. The one challenge, quite frankly, is that not all functionality is currently within S4HANA Cloud. So if you are an oil and gas company that is looking for PRA and JVA specific functionality that currently exists within S4HANA or within ECC, then S4HANA Cloud is not the right customer. However, if you're an oil and gas company that is a Global 1000 and you're looking to deploy core functionality that is not oil and gas specific, then you may be a good customer, or S4HANA Cloud may be the right fit for you. The one that I think is most surprising when we talk to prospective customers is that large enterprise is also a target company or a target S4HANA Cloud consumer. And I think most people think that when you're a large enterprise or companies of $1 billion in revenue or above, that S4HANA is the only solution, and that's not accurate. Large enterprise organizations that have subsidiaries across the world where they're wanting S4HANA or SAP ERP without the implementation or software costs, those are excellent targets. Those companies that are heavily involved in mergers and acquisitions or divestitures, those are great potential prospects for leveraging S4HANA Cloud. Those companies that are running S4HANA or running SAP ERP on-prem or even hosted, but want to integrate with those subsidiaries that would run a lighter version of S4HANA, being S4HANA Cloud, they are excellent prospects, again, for running S4HANA Cloud. So one specific example is we have a global company that we've been working with now for years and years and years, and they currently on ECC 6.0 since 2011. And they were looking to deploy a lightweight ERP SaaS across 9 European site locations. And they were pretty far down the road with NetSuite when S4HANA Cloud, which, by the way, haven't mentioned yet, is very new to the market. It is bleeding edge. It became generally available in late Q1, early Q2 of this year. So it is still relatively new to the marketplace, but gaining a tremendous amount of momentum and traction. But the company that we're talking about now was down the road pretty far with NetSuite. And when S4HANA Cloud came out, they dropped their NetSuite pursuit because they are SAP-centric, wanted to keep their business processes similar. And so S4HANA Cloud now is their solution of choice. They are going to be integrating it with their ERP, SAP ECC. And for them, this is now their growth pattern, where as they continue to acquire other subsidiaries or smaller companies throughout the world that don't necessarily need full-blown ERP or S4HANA, they're planning on leveraging S4HANA Cloud as their ERP for those specific locations. All right, so some functionality overview. What we've done in the next several slides, 5 slides, and give you all an opportunity to process this a bit. As you can see on the left within the blue boxes are the different core pieces of S4HANA functionality, which should be very familiar to all of y'all who are running SAP. Your procure-to-pay process, your plan to product, your order to cash, your HR, core finance, project services, and then at the bottom, more technical or kind of in a ETL world or the data migration functionality of core S4HANA Cloud. And as you can see at a high level, all of the core business processes that are required to run a business, S4HANA Cloud has got that functionality as part of its core product. So we'll dig into the procure-to-pay process. So again, give y'all an opportunity to kind of review this. S4HANA Cloud continues to evolve. The code base for S4HANA Cloud, as mentioned earlier, is the same code base as S4HANA. So integration from those companies that are running S4HANA to S4HANA Cloud is going to be all that much easier because it's leveraging the same code base. And one of the ways, again, that S4HANA Cloud is trying to be more extendable is through some of the other SAP products as part of the portfolio. So within Ariba, as an example, the operational purchasing or the invoices and payables management component, those are areas where integration to Ariba, if you already own it, or would like to extend S4HANA Cloud into some more detailed related procure-to-pay processes, these are all ways where you can continue to enhance your S4HANA Cloud experience by integrating with other SAP products. The order-to-cash process. So the meat and potato within order-to-cash or SD is all there. Sales processing, deliveries, quotations, credit memos, debit memos, contract management, all of these pieces of core SD functionality exists as part of S4HANA Cloud. And we're going through a lot of functionality in a short period of time. And so we'll have information for both Will and myself. And so if anyone has any specific deep dive questions, then we can follow up. The other part is that NIMBL partners with SAP's S4HANA Cloud account executive team or the specialists. And so we can also connect you directly with your counterparts within your respective regions to have a more deep dive conversation on does specific functionality that you're looking for, either short term or long term, does that fall within S4HANA Cloud. So core finance, again, core bread and butter functionality, GL, AP, asset accounting, AR, financial reporting, cost management. All of these are part and parcel of core finance and part and parcel of S4HANA Cloud. So if you're a company that is looking to a mid-market organization that's looking to have core finance functionality, then S4HANA Cloud is a total bullseye. Or if you're a large enterprise organization that has industry-specific functionality but just looking to manage more of the core processes within some of your subsidiaries, S4HANA Cloud, again, may be a great fit. And we're seeing a ton of questions come in, which is awesome, and we will get to those, we promise, doing my best, and Jake is ribbing me to continue to talk faster, so I'm going to start talking faster. So manufacturing, again, core business processes around the manufacturing space, around plan to product scope, etc., goods receipts, shipping, goods issues, MRP. Those are all core pieces of S4HANA Cloud manufacturing functionality. Nuances, difference in regards to discrete manufacturing, make to stock, make to order. Those pieces of manufacturing as part of S4HANA Cloud are included. So it not only is it got core processy, but also then has some more nuanced and differentiations around organizations that are looking to not necessarily do generic production, but also the ability to change on the fly between make to order and make to stock. All right, so show me the money. What does it cost to deploy S4HANA Cloud? Now, it's always dangerous to throw out numbers because these are numbers that y'all are going to remember and document and say, hey, Yosh told me so. But I think it's important at a 500,000 foot level to provide you with 500,000 foot pricing so that you understand what is the cost of deployment and what's the value and what's the differentiation between implementing S4HANA Cloud versus S4HANA or ERP. So the software pricing around deployment is by user by month. So again, that's more of a newer SAP pricing model, more of a SaaS-based type of concept. The implementation generically is rapid deployment, and again, using consulting speak, it depends, but a rapid deployment of S4HANA out of the box for a mid-market organization, 100 users or less, typically takes around 4 months or by 4 resources. From a support perspective, there are, again, no outside of your cost per month per user. There are no maintenance costs. There's no enterprise support. So that 22% cost no longer there. And so that is a huge benefit where your 22% maintenance for your ERP, if you're mid-market or even large enterprise, or especially large enterprise, your enterprise support cost is going to be more than what your annual software costs are going to be. From a support perspective, it could be completely customer supported. So depending upon the complexity and how adapt or deft your internal resources are, customer support and your internal resources, especially if they're multi-purpose or multifunctional, you don't necessarily need to necessarily even hire additional resources. So that's a huge benefit where you as a company could get rapid deployment, SAP, ERP best practice, software as a service, subscription pricing with, in essence, next to nothing TCO. Bottom line is that S4HANA Cloud is a fraction of your S4HANA on-prem cost. So it's definitely apples and oranges when it comes to pricing. So what are some example pricing costs? And again, don't quote us, but here's some thoughts around this. It could be less expensive. It could be more expensive, but using these as almost kind of litmus or ballpark figures. Software could be around $100K. Your implementation could be around $400K, and your support, if you're not using AMS and supporting internally or not hiring, could be $0. So I want to get to the demo pretty quick and give Will his time. SAP, for those of y'all that aren't familiar, has created and revolutionized or evolved a new implementation strategy called SAP Activate. The whole concept is quicker time to value. So it's SAP's latest NIMBL deployment methodology, NIMBL with an E. And so for those of y'all that aren't familiar, independent of whether it's S4HANA Cloud or whether it is S4HANA, SAP and partners such as NIMBL are leveraging Activate as part of the new implementation strategy. How is the S4HANA Cloud implementation strategy different? Well, using a standardized solution, which you as an organization are going to tailor your needs as a customer and business to the software, as opposed to trying to recreate your green screen experience in SAP. It reduces complexity. It is more vanilla out of the box. Innovation is there through the upgrades to public cloud automatically every 3 months. System landscape, again, from a public cloud solution, doesn't require heavy lifting or the cost of on-prem or even a partnered hosted solution. Your project timeline, 2 weeks, is pretty darn rapid. I think it's probably closer more towards to 25 weeks. Customer owns more of the tasks, as we mentioned, so your TCO is much lower. And then your handover support for long-term management is part of the implementation strategy. One of the beauties, again, of S4HANA Cloud is the guided configuration. So it's don't want to use the analogy of QuickBooks on steroids because it's a lot more powerful than that. But the guided configuration and the wizard-based type of functionality config. So old school IMG or SPRO is now more wizard-based. What companies do you have? What does your org structure look like? What's your purchasing orgs? How many plants, etc. Based upon this, it enables you to quickly stand up a vanilla best of practice, best of breed config model. Another beauty of Activate and the strategy and leveraging S4HANA Cloud and the implementation accelerators is easy to use product guide, contains step-by-step instructions on how to go through the project. And the whole point of this is that it enables you as a customer to get quicker value out of your implementation. Excuse me. So with that, I'm going to hand it on over to Will to show us the product. So Will, whenever you're ready, feel free to take control and run with the demo.
Sure. Thank you for that. I just want to ensure that I have been unmuted. So, Yosh, you are able to hear me?
Yes, sir, Will. Loud and clear.
Excellent. So let me go ahead and begin by sharing my desktop. And just to confirm, you are seeing the logon screen?
Yes, we are.
Excellent. Great. Well, thank you, Yosh, and appreciate everybody attending. I did want to provide a quick overview of the S4HANA Cloud solution. But to introduce myself, I Will Sakaguchi. I run the pre-sales and value engineering team focused specifically on the S4HANA Cloud solution. And we'll see from some of the questions, we'll clarify that in a bit. But let me go ahead and log on, and we'll get a good flavor for the solution. So logging in, just like any traditional SAP solution, it is roles-based. If I could type here, my apologies. There we go. It is a role-based system driven off a similar security model as defined in the core solutions. But as you can see, it's a very dramatically different look and feel. It's HTML5 based on the user interface that we refer to as Fiori. So it is a modern UI. It's device agnostic, being HTML5. And it'll provide a similar type of grouping of transactions based on lines of business and roles that are defined for each user. The current screen is showing an example of my user roles, and the small squares are referred to as tiles. And these tiles are personalizable, right? So I can click down at the bottom of the screen and as a user determine what is the ordering of these particular tiles that I wish to adopt. I can drag and drop these or click and turn off these particular tiles per user, right? So the tiles are inherited from the roles. The underlying security of the fields and values that I can view are defined by the roles, and then I can further personalize that. There is a traditional type of menuing structure to drill into the specific transactions that I wish to execute. But because this is an optimized solution for HANA, you can see right away there is real-time analytics that exist on the tiles. And this allows us to start marrying together robust and real-time analytics with transactions, or what we refer to as insight to action. There is also the ability to do traditional types of analytics. Moving to this procurement overview gives an example of how there is even greater capabilities for exposing analytics. These particular items are referred to as cards. And cards can take on a dramatically larger and more flexible type of structure for exposing larger amounts of information from within the solution. I can further personalize those cards by essentially turning on and off what are the cards that I wish to view. I can click on these and drag and drop and move these. And all of these cards here allow me to click on a specific one and drill into details. And again, depending on the type of card or tile, will depend on the type of details. In this case, it's truly an analytics tile. I can click on a specific value in these metrics. And what's a great feature here is I can further drill into details. And those details do not necessarily need to be further drill downs in analytics, but they could be going into specific transactions. So again, here's a great feature of the optimization of the solution to allow you to actually leverage information that you're viewing to take action at a transactional level. So in this particular case, I may wish to choose, well, I'd like to see the trending of that particular tile. Nothing too interesting on that particular one. I can use the back arrow to simply go back. Now, again, as I talked about, I could click on a tile and then choose a particular option to go into further analytics or start moving into more operational reporting that's going to allow me to actually start taking actions against those operations. In this case, you can see what is more traditional, the ability to start actually dealing with certain supplier line item information that have been posted. Now, in this particular case, like traditional SAP, you can see this item is highlighted, which will allow me to click on it and drill into the details. But there's also choices at the bottom of the screen allow me to block payments, unblock payments, create a payment, or actually share this information. And here's an example where you can further enhance your navigation, where I could save this particular navigation state as a tile. So if this is a common operation, that I perform. I don't need to drill into the specific details that took me here. I can save this particular navigation state as a new tile for a user. And at any point in time, I can simply go back. So we saw how easy it was to expose analytics, drill into the details of those analytics, or in this particular case, we could start from the initial card and provide the details. And here we can see that I can further drill into the specific details of this transaction. In this case, it's a purchase requisition. So now we can see what the look and feel of a purchase requisition is like in S4HANA via the Fiori user experience. And then at any point in time, I can go back to the main menu. Now, very traditional, we can drill down into menus, find the operations you wish to perform. But a great feature is it's optimized for HANA, allowing me to do searching of structured and unstructured data. At any point in time, I can simply just click in the enterprise search at the top of the screen and search for key phrases or words that I'm looking at across the entire application. So selecting this particular option, digital, it's going to find all of the associated transactions in the system or applications that may match that search term. And here we can see it's found one customer project with digital. It's found an engagement, so there's two different types of projects, a customer-related and internal service project, and some marketing content. Another example, if I type in Draper, I could right in the beginning tell it, well, I only want to look for apps or specific types of transactions. Maybe I'm only looking at employees that are named Draper. And now it's going to limit the search just to that particular option. So a much easier way to navigate through the system and search and find specifics of what you're looking for. Now, if I type in raw, here's a good example where in my demo environment, there is a tremendous amount of transactions that match. And at any point in time, I can further navigate into those details. But I really want to focus on purchase orders related to raw materials. And now it'll update my state. And here are those 4 particular transactions that match. And within these, I can further drill into specific details associated with this. So navigation is further enhanced and optimized on the S4 platform and provides a much easier mechanism for navigating around the screen. As we talked about the business application residing on HANA being optimized, we get these real-time analytics which allow us to drill into details. So in this case, we're looking at day sales outstanding. It's initially going to provide me an overview of the last 12 months, and we can see it broken down on a quarterly basis. I may choose to make a decision that I want to start resolving the oldest payables outstanding, or I wish to start resolving the highest balance that's outstanding. And I could drill in to the specific top 10 days payable outstanding customers. So here's an example where not only viewing analytics, we can further take action on those analytics. So I'm looking at the oldest payables outstanding that I may wish to resolve. Now it's giving me a breakdown by the specific suppliers. And once again, I can start executing a specific type of transaction. So insight to action, I can start taking action and maybe I wish to resolve these particular payables outstanding for this specific supplier. And now it will take me into the payment transaction. Again, similar in functionality to traditional SAP business process for payments, but optimized for the user experience residing on Fiori and S4. So such as I'm looking for the GL account where I actually want to make payments. Traditionally, I would have to click on the F4 and drill down, and now I can simply just type in a key phrase, and it'll bring up all of the matching GL accounts. And I can choose any one of these and start showing the payments. Once again, I can start doing the transaction processing, and similar, it's going to alert me to some problems. So let's say I actually want to make a payment of $97,500 and start clearing it. So for clearing, it's as simply as clicking on this clear button, and it'll update. I can process a simulate to give an update of what's going to happen. If there is a residual payment that is outside the criteria for automatically resolving the residuals, it would error out. In this case, it does balance, and it's telling me the specific GL accounts that it's going to be posted to. I could then actually settle the posting of this payment. So we see how easy it is to actually conduct day-to-day operations, but instead of starting with the transaction and trying to figure out where we wish to resolve the payments, in any transaction we can start with analytics and then take action on the most relevant information. So with that, I will pause and see if there are any questions. Okay. So what is important to note, as we talked earlier, is that we're going to get real-time analytics. In this case, it's telling me I've got 28 particular purchase orders to be approved. And again, because this is HTML5, we do have mobile Fiori-based applications for such things as workflow approvals, specific type of workflow processing, posting time and expenses is a very common one, approving purchase orders is a common one. And these are all standard predefined scenarios. So like a true cloud solution, you simply turn on the application and it functions. The concept of the guided configuration is dramatically accelerated to traditional configuration of legacy SAP solutions. So again, I wanted to provide a quick overview of the capabilities, highlight some of the key features of the user experience and the HANA-based or S4HANA-based optimization of the application. And with that, I will turn it back over to Yosh.
Thanks, Will. That was awesome. And again, for those folks that have any questions on any of the specifics, we'll have some information at the end. Wrapping it up real quick so that Jake can finalize this. Some more information over the next couple of slides on S4HANA Cloud that's available. There's a free trial that's available as part of this URL. Folks will ask if this presentation will be available or the presentation will be available, and the answer is yes. Some more information on what is out there for additional intel is there's a whole SAP is doing an amazing job of providing more detailed information out on the web. So whether it's Solution Explorer, top questions and answers, leveraging SCN, etc., there's a wealth of information out there for those inquiring minds that would like to know. And with that, I will turn it on over to Jake.
All right, thanks, Yosh. We have one last full question before we hit the Q&A, and it's pretty simple. Would you like more information on S4HANA Cloud? We covered a lot of information. There's always obviously more that we can give you, so I'll give people a little bit of time to fill out that poll question. And it looks like people are starting to finish up on. And before we get to the Q&A, I do want to mention our Solution Manager practice. We've been very excited and actually aggressive about 7.2. We know that it's an exciting topic that people are very interested in, and we've been presenting across the country, and actually will be published in SAP Press later on in October. There's a promotional code on the screen that you can use to get 10% off of Jeremy Swoboda from NIMBL's upgrading to SAP Soulman 7.2. If you don't catch it now, don't worry. Everybody will be given a full edited copy of this presentation. And if you would like more information on our own practice of, or just in general of 7.2, type Soulman into the chat box, and we'll be sure to send you any updated information that we have. So at that point, I'm going to take it over to questions. And I see people are typing in Soulman right now. So again, any information you'd like on 7.2, just type Soulman into the chat box. So let's get to the questions. Again, if we run over, we will be sticking around for an additional 5-10 minutes. So it's not a hard stop at 12 o'clock.